All right, hey everyone. So this is the end of the civil rights unit now, and like I said earlier, I wanted to make just a little video to kind of talk about it. And this is going to be serious. I'm not pulling out any wigs or costumes or anything for this because that's we'll save that for some funny videos. But whenever I finish a civil rights unit, I always kind of talk for a minute about what to take away from it. And the main things I want you to I hope you picked up on were first just how much they had to go through just for equality during the civil rights movement and slash era, and all of those leaders from Martin Luther King down to one of those kids that was in the march, they're still risking their life. They were risking their lives just to go to a restaurant or sit at a counter or just to be treated equally. And that's what it was just, they just wanted equality. It wasn't like they were asking for anything extra. It's just what they were promised in the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, all these values this country was built on just was not happening for a long time, centuries really. And then even after the Civil War and all of that mess, you remember how horrible that war was. It's still like big parts of the country just were like, nope, we're still not changing. And it went on like that for almost 100 years before there was just this. You can just see how long it takes just to get things done. So that's the main thing to take from it. And look, racism is still out there today. Okay, and whether you've experienced it or not or seen it, you need to understand racism is still out there today. Now, the violence level, that's obviously, we're much different than we were back then. But some people still have those beliefs. And the thing is, when you're trying to fight racism, you're trying to fight something that people have been raised to believe is right. One example I always kind of use that I didn't really get to because of how we're doing all this is cheering for a sports team. Now, obviously, this is not as serious, okay, not at all. But me cheering for the Bears and the Cubs and the Bulls, it's just what I was raised to do. It's like if you're a Cardinal fan or a Packer fan, as crazy as that is to me, you're like, well, Mr. D, I went to a game with my dad when I was, 6 or 7, or my mom, everyone in my family is a Cardinal fan or a Packer fan, so I just cheer for them, and that's what we're raised to believe is right, and we just follow it. If you're a true fan, no matter what, racism is very similar on that thought process. Again, not at all. This is not as serious, okay? Even though you may look around and be like, okay, ease up a little bit. Sports teams are not anywhere near as serious as the racism stuff that we've been watching. But the mindset of what you're trying to break someone of is something that it's the same way of saying just the separation of those races. They had been raised with uncles, aunts, grandparents, friends, relatives, everyone saying whites are here, blacks are here. That's the way it is. And then they were just trying to just bring this up, and that's really what it was all about. So something to you can think about yourself is one, not judging people, giving people a chance to see who they are. Don't just look at someone for anything, race, ethnicity, age, height, weight, any of that stuff. Give them all a chance. Don't judge them. None of us like to be judged. No one likes to walk into a room and have people make assumptions about us. So don't do that about people. And if you have one of those thoughts, don't act on it. If a thought like that pops in your head, there should be another part of your brain that goes, no, that's wrong. I'm not going to think that way. That's how you fight racism in yourself. And then something else legally that I thought of this a couple months ago when I was watching some kind of random documentary or something about, it was a small town murder, and they were really trying to pin it on this African American man, and the evidence was weak. They did not have much evidence against him, and he almost was locked up for life. But his lawyers and things kind of proved like, hey, this is wrong. You know, it's he did not do this. And I'm kind of watching this, and it just kind of hit me. Usually, I always push this what I just said. Don't judge. Don't be a racist yourself. Don't laugh at jokes like that kind of stuff, which is all true. But another way, if you're watching this, I'm thinking like, how can I make a difference in today's world? And obviously, you can't do this right now, but you could go to law school, become a lawyer, and fight for civil rights in the court system. Fight for people who have been wrongfully accused basically because of their race. I mean, that kind of stuff can be done, and you all can do that. You can get there. It's not easy. I'm saying this from a place of I'm not going to become a lawyer. Okay, that's a lot of work, a lot of research, and I don't want to do that. But if you do, if you've got the mindset of that, go for it. Because then you can really make a difference in the world. You can sit down and say, I've done something that really makes a difference. Okay, so that was just something I wanted to throw out at the end here as we finish out the Civil Rights Unit. And that's it for the week. Next week, we are starting the Vietnam War.